Okay. So there is actually another one here that we like, but if actually I didn't transfer, then I will have to, you'll have to trust my memory. Where is, okay, well, and it is not permissible to openly propose marriage to one in her waiting period. However, for one whose marriage termination is irrevocable, it is permissible to allude to that. He may, for instance, say, don't marry someone else, or I am interested in a woman like you. ولا يجوز التصريح بخطبة معتدة ويجوز التعريض بخطبة البائن خاصة فيقول لا تفوتيني بنفسك وأنا في مثلك لراغب ونحو ذلك. So now, one whose marriage whose termination from the previous marriage is irrevocable. Her husband died, you know, so she is in her waiting period from the death of her husband. She got khul'a. Khul'a is termination, it's not talaq. Therefore, it's not revocable. Therefore, her husband can't return her. There is no raj'a in khul'a, because in the first place, she gave him his dowry back so that she can be released. She can be released. So it's a termination for a price. The price has been presented by the wife who gave the husband the dowry back, his dowry back. And in this case, he can't return her. And a marriage that has been terminated by talaq ba'in, baynuna kubra, the marriage that has been terminated by a third divorce. After that third divorce, that particular man can't marry her for great wisdom, because many times people think that they are compatible and they just keep on living a miserable life and they keep on getting remarried again because they think that they're compatible and live a miserable life one more time, and so on and so forth, when they can actually have a better life with other people. So if they have already gone through divorce 3 times, then Allah is saying to them, then you're not suitable for each other, you're not compatible. You can have a better marriage with someone else. So a woman that has been divorced 3 times is a woman that will not return to that first husband. But therefore, the details of this have to be worked out first, because you don't assume that this is a final one. You know, because he may have divorced her one time when she was in her period, he may have divorced her, and then he will go to the scholars and ask, is this final, is this terminal, can I return her, and so on and so forth. So don't be on the tips of your toes, just waiting to jump in. Because that is certainly, you have to understand that there is, the spirit of the text is quite obvious. You're not competing with your brother for his wife, or his potential wife, or his former wife that has not been completely separated from him. the story did not completely end yet. So everybody stays off until the story has ended completely, finally, terminally. Okay, so all of those women are women that are not going to go back to that husband. Also, the woman that has been separated from her husband in li'an, mutual cursing or mutual oath taking, where a husband claims that the wife fornicated, the wife, denies, and then she takes the 5 oaths, and he takes 5 oaths, and so on. Then her word will have more weight because she is the defendant. And the defendant always has, the word of the defendant always has more weight. So her word will have more weight, but they will be separated. And the Shara, as Imam al-Zuhri said, مَضَتِ السُنَّةِ فِي الْمُتَلَاعِنَيْنِ أَنْ يُفَرَّقَ بَيْنَهُمَا. The Sunnah, with regard to the oath takers, is to separate between them forever. Separate between them forever. Because if it had gotten this bad between you, you should not go back and live together. So you separate between them forever. All of those cases, when the woman is having her iddah, her husband died, her husband did li'an with her, it was a 3rd divorce, she obtained termination through khulla. In all of those cases, he will not be allowed to explicitly propose marriage, openly, explicitly propose marriage to her, but he may allude to it. He may allude to it. And how does he allude to it? He would say, don't get married to someone else. Well, that is quite, but it's still allowable. Or he will say to her, when after your period ends, let me know. Or he will say to her, I wouldn't marry someone like you. I would marry someone who's like you. These are all not explicit, but he's getting the message across. And the reason here is this woman is not going to go back to that husband. So that sacredness, the sacredness of that relationship is not violated, is not compromised. She's not going back. That's it. Termination is final. However, we want that woman not to be quite involved, before the waiting period is over, and we want to sort of deter people for some time, delay them. But there may be benefits, great benefits, in someone alluding to her. Maybe there is a great suitor that is about to embark on a journey, and he will come back after 4 months, and he is a great suitor, and he just wants to, because there were no telephones and so on. He's not going to send her an email, after a period ends. So, and he is embarking on a journey. She is midway through her period, and he's leaving for Egypt, for instance, from Baghdad. By the time he comes back, everything will be over. So he just tells her, I'm leaving to Egypt. I would be interested in marrying someone like you. So, and if she's really interested in him, and if she really thinks that he is a good suitor, then she will wait. Otherwise, she won't. So that is where that's the practicality of Islam. That's the beauty of Islam, because it is fine balance of everything. There is no